Hey everyone, welcome back. Hope you're having a good week so far. Shout out to any new subscribers and make sure to hit that subscribe button if you're not yet subscribed and you enjoy my content. So I want to go over something a little interesting today that I saw a few days ago on Twitter. Variety shared this article and it has to do with Matthew Vaughn and a pitch that he proposed to Warner Brothers back in the day before Man of Steel for a Superman trilogy. Just want to give the quick little, in a nutshell, details about it and then share thoughts. So before Man of Steel, director Matthew Vaughn pitched a trilogy of Superman movies and WB said they weren't interested. That's, I guess, not surprising. They're not interested in a lot of things. The trilogy's villains were Lex Luthor, Zod, and Brainiac. All right. Here's a quote from Matthew Vaughn. Our big idea was that Krypton doesn't blow up. It does eventually. The dad was right, Jor-El, but he got his timing wrong. When Superman is grown up, suddenly there's a mass exodus and all hell breaks loose. That was our main idea. So of course, in the comments on this post, there's a lot of question as to, so does Superman grow up on Krypton? Does he grow up on Earth? Where is he? I guess maybe since it was supposed to be a trilogy, maybe it would have kind of been like this progression from one movie to the next. Maybe obviously you would see a lot more Krypton in that kind of story, because if Jor-El was right that it does, implode or, blow up, but his timing was wrong, then, you would obviously, to me, if you're going to make a trilogy based on around that main idea, maybe it was supposed to be like, all of that kind of takes the course over the three movies. It's a different idea. Different doesn't mean bad. It's not a bad thing to do unexpected and different things with the characters that we've seen so many times in different films and different iterations. But there are certain things that I guess you just expect to maybe remain consistent. Things that are fundamental to the character's backstory. A major part of his origin story is growing up on Earth and navigating that, and plus on Krypton he wouldn't have powers, so I wonder how I mean of course we don't really have enough details just from that couple of sentences, that quote, but it kind of makes you just wonder how would all of that have worked out across a trilogy. Now Lex Luthor, Zod, and Brainiac, I think those are good choices for villains. We've seen Lex Luthor and Zod. We saw Lex Luthor and Zod in Man of Steel and BVS, so we did get those in Henry Cavill's time during Superman. And this just right here, this information doesn't say if if he had anyone in mind to play Superman or whatnot. Obviously, since Warner Brothers was not interested in that, it didn't get that far. It was an idea that was pitched and turned down. But with this coming out now, I'm sure there's going to be questions if people have the chance to interview him or ask him a question, or I don't really know how he is as far as his activity on social media, but people are going to want to know, who would you have chosen for your Superman when you had this idea in mind. Henry Cavill is working with him on, the Argyle movie that comes out in February. That is Matthew Vaughn's movie. So they did work together on that. I'm not sure how long before Man of Steel this idea was pitched to Warner Brothers, but I'm not really surprised that they weren't interested. I don't think it doesn't mean it would have been bad. We don't know enough about it. This is kind of just like a very basic, in a nutshell, this is what it would have been description. I don't know. They did also make some wacky comments to Zack when he was making Man of Steel, like, well, does he have to be a Metropolis, and does it have to be Kansas, and do his parents need to be Jonathan and Martha Kent, and all of those things. And it's like, yes. We have heard some of the ridiculous comments that were made to Zack while he was working on all these movies, and it's like things that are fundamental to the character. Obviously, you want every director who takes on one of these, large franchise movies that has a long history and a lot of different iterations. You want them to have their own point of view and their own ideas and bringing something fresh and different and new. We got that with Man of Steel, of course, but there, like I said, there should be things that stay intact, if that makes sense. It would have been cool to see more Krypton, though. I think that is something that we also got in Man of Steel. That's like the most Krypton we've ever seen in a Superman movie, live action movie. That was really awesome to see more of Krypton before it is destroyed and before it's no longer before you can't explore it anymore, unless it's like in the form of a flashback or something. And Brainiac is a very popular fan choice for villain had we gotten Henry Cavill's second solo movie. I definitely think that would have been a good choice as well. But just interesting things to think about. Sometimes it's cool to kind of hear certain directors, or they come out and say, oh, I once pitched this movie, I once pitched that movie, I once pitched a movie for this franchise. And it's cool to hear things like that and just kind of think about and to hear about ideas that other directors have for popular characters. It is actually cool too that he also pitched it as a trilogy. He already had, that means he must have had a lot in mind for what he wanted to do with the character to pitch it as a trilogy, not just one or two movies that he had a few ideas for. He must have had a lot in mind that he wanted to do if he was interested in doing a trilogy. But let me know your guys' thoughts. Do you find any of that interesting? Do you think that could have been a cool take on the character? But yeah, share your thoughts below. And thank you guys again for all the support on the channel. Hit up the short section as well if you're interested, and the links in the description. Netflix's Geek Week is just around the corner, November 6th through the 12th. And of course, we will be seeing something from Rebel Moon. I don't know what. I don't know if they're going to share a clip. I don't know if they're going to have another trailer. I don't know if they're going to announce something, but I'm definitely looking forward to it. And I will 100% be keeping the channel updated on that. So make sure you don't miss anything with Rebel Moon, and it will be coming out in December. So, lots to look forward to. So hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on anything. But thank you guys so much for the support, and we'll see you next time.